everyone, and welcome to the August 9th, 2018 Code Enforcement Board meeting. The meeting will now come to order. May we have a roll call, Madam Secretary?
Ms. Cundick.
Here.
Ms. Hines.
Here.
Ms. House.
Here.
Mr. Harrington.
Here.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
And Mr. Weatherford.
Here. You've got a quorum.
Good. All right. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Do we have any additions or corrections? Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to accept.
I move that the minutes be accepted with necessary corrections if there be.
I don't think there are any. Mrs. Himes made a motion. Mr. Harrington seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Would anybody like to disclose any ex parte communication?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I was at a meeting last night with the Stack Redevelopment, and they brought up issues that wasn't on the agenda pertaining to item 16. And it was a public meeting, and I had no comments.
And you're going to base your decision on what you're today?
Yes.
And you're fine?
Okay, that's fine. Good.
That was at the redevelopment. I also saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing with you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see. We're announcements, Madam Secretary.
Yes, ma'am, we have some.
Okay.
Case number 3-07-1868 Orange Avenue, parcel 523906290240 is in compliance.
Good.
8-3-18. Case number 4-07-1869 at 900 Orange Avenue is in compliance. 8-3-18. Number 5, case number 07-1870 at 614 Orange Avenue is in compliance. 8-3-18. Case number 7, 07-1872 Orange Avenue, parcel.
Oh, wow.
That's case number 7.
Okay, got it.
07-1872 Orange Avenue, parcel 533979000460 is in compliance. 8-1. Case number 11, 08-1889 at 900 South Peninsula Drive is withdrawn. Case number 14, 08-1875 1133 St. Augustine Road is in compliance. 7/31/18. Case number 19, CEB 08-1880 at 227 Michigan Avenue is in compliance on 7/26/2018. Case number 20, 08-1881 at 1216 Suwannee Road is in compliance. 8/8/18. Case number 21, 08-1882 410 Butler Boulevard is in compliance. 8/6/18. Case number 23, 08-1884 at 1213 Sunland Road is in compliance. 8/8/18.
Okay. Wait a minute. There's one I missed a date
Okay.
on. 10. Maybe not.
One backwards, you got 23.
No, I guess because it was withdrawn. No, that's all right. I'm good. Okay, would our code officers please come forward and be sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, here's our procedure. We'll be calling cases by number and for the most part in order as they are listed on the agenda. If there are any attorneys that must be in court, we'll hear those cases first. If there are police officers who must get back to assignments, we'll hear those cases. Is there anyone here? Do you have to get back? Do you have to go to court this morning?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then we'll hear it in order. Thank you. When you're called, state your name and address for the record. If you're not the owner of the property, please state your relationship to the owner. Our proceedings are recorded, so please speak into the microphone. The board hears from the code officers first, and then will be given the opportunity to respond. Please direct all responses to the board. Witnesses may also testify following the same procedures. I don't anticipate that we'll be here longer than 11 o'clock, so we probably won't need a break. If it gets to 11 o'clock, we'll take a break. Okay, so we don't have any lien reviews. Let's start with our continued cases. Case number 1, CEB 05-18-53. James Lambert, 215 Oak Ridge. Mr. Lambert here? No. Okay.
Good morning.
Good
Madam
morning.
Chair, members of the board, Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city of Daytona
Good morning.
Beach. On this case, the inspectors, Tom Quigg and John Stinson is here covering Mr. Quigg's case, but been informed that the respondent has pulled permits, but they're waiting for a permit to final, so we're amend the to the next cutoff for the permits to final.
Okay. Because as I recall, he had applied the last time, so it's just taking a while? Is that it?
That's the
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the elderly gentleman, isn't it?
Yeah. So, okay. Any questions from the board? Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow a respondent until the next cutoff date, September 5th, 2018, to come into compliance or be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. Is there such a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion, Mrs. House, second, Mrs. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. All right. Case number 2, CEB 12-17-167. We are here for a progress report on the Three Oaks Inn. Aha. Mr. Jackson.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for a progress report, and I'll ask city staff to kind of just bring you up to date. The general situation is that things have changed a lot here, and so the anticipation is that there will be a demolition, and we'll be asking for additional time for the compliance to be next month, because we expect demolition to be very soon. So let staff explain.
Okay.
Chief Building Officials.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
We went ahead, the building has been posted. The appeal has been turned in where he's not going to appeal.
He's not, okay, good. Okay.
Demolition looks as of right now, probably next week, we will commence with it.
Okay.
And upon completion of the demolition, I think that would satisfy the case of coming into compliance.
Will the city do the demolition and leave the background, or will you leave the property?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so, and there were police issues, and this will take care of all of those things. I don't know what happens to I was really surprised when I learned that there were actually tenants living
Yeah, they have.
in there.
Tenants
I
in the
didn't
front.
realize that.
Yeah, they have tenants in the front building as well as in the back building, which is connected at
Uh-huh.
one. And they were having almost daily police calls on it.
Uh-huh.
When
Well-
the demolition is completed, does the owner retain the property and pay taxes on that empty lot?
With the amount of lien that would be placed on it, they'd have to satisfy the lien on that.
If they did, then you retain the property.
That they would take from it.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? All right, so because this was a progress report, what we're going to do is, let's see, we'll make a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance, right? And allow respondent until the next cutoff date, 9/5/18, to come into compliance or be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion? Mr. Harrington made the motion. Second?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Cases 3, 4, and 5 are in compliance. Case 6, CEB 0718-71, Bernard W. and Alma Smith at 730 Flanders Avenue. Respondent present? No. All right, Mr. Jackson.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I don't know if the inspector in this case is Juan Davis. This is here from position number 5. Ms. Davis has indicated to me she anticipated Mr. Smith to be here. He had presented to her a proof of conveyance of the property, so there is a new owner that we were intending to add and allow an additional time to apply. We may want to pass it.
We haven't notified the new owner yet, then. Then we have to do that first.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, I didn't have anything to add. The new owner has not been cited.
We have to add the new owner and bring it back to our practice. And we can't find the person today.
Right.
Okay.
We have the owner. We have the information here.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So we have proof that the property's been sold.
Well,
It's going through the sale as we speak.
It's not sold yet.
yeah. So correction. What I'm looking at, Madam Chair, say sale and purchase contract as is sale and purchase contract. So
Wow.
Doesn't make a difference. The statute's very clear that
Even with the sale, wait a minute. Even with sale and purchase, that's all that is. That's not a conveyance. That's
No, well, we have to notify the parties.
The contracted closing date was for July 31st.
See, you did a lien, and it may not reach the clerk's office before you had transferred. So we need to let the parties know.
It has to be written.
what is the date of the purchase and sale?
The current one I have is for July 31st. He was supposed to be here today with any type of extension or an update. I talked to him yesterday afternoon about 4
Okay.
o'clock.
So that was the date it was signed. What is the date?
No, that's the scheduled closing date.
Well, that's come and gone. So what happened? Do we know?
I think the inspector just indicated he was to come either to express whether it was continuing to give her an
He
update.
just walked in the door.
Okay. Great. Okay.
That's not a problem.
Okay. Good morning. Please come forward. State your name and address for the record and be sworn in, please.
Yes, Bernard Davis Smith.
Okay.
Raise your hand.
Bernard Davis Smith Jr., 730 Flanders, Big Horse.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, so you have a purchase and sale agreement,
Yes.
and it was supposed to close the 31st of July, which has come and gone. What is the issue?
It's in the process of being renewed as we speak. The representative called me 2 days ago saying she was forwarding me another contract for me to sign. That's probably where we are.
So,
I'm going to need another 30 days just to get that completed.
so right now, the purchase and sale contract is not valid?
No, because it ended in July.
31st.
It doesn't close.
No, the contract is up.
So you
The
just
purchase and sale,
had an extension, is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
right?
They had to renew the contract.
But you signed an original contract.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're still working off the original contract, you're just
Yes.
getting an extension
Okay.
for a closing date.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
So what we'll do is to amend the previous order of noncompliance?
Yes.
Is that satisfactory?
That's the request of the city. Yes.
Yeah.
You should
Okay.
also request a copy of the extension.
I'll get it to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance, allow respondent until 9/5/18 to come into compliance or be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. Is there such a motion? Motion, Mrs. Himes, second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed.
When you close, did you let staff know?
What's that?
Mr. Smith, did you let staff, as soon as you close, let staff know?
The inspector knows soon as you.
Oh, no, I will. Thank you, sir.
And then we have to re-notify, is that right?
Yeah, we still have a case that's open, so yeah, we'll notify the new owner to remedy whatever situations are going on. So they'll get notice and have opportunity to come in and either comply or speak before the board.
Will we have to start the procedure over? No. Okay. All right, fine. Okay. Okay. That's fine. All right, thank you. All right, case number 7 is in compliance. Case number 8, CEB 071873, Paul Meeks. Respondent present? Okay. Come forward, please, Mr. Meeks.
State your name and address.
Paul, Mr. Goodman,
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're going to let Mr. Jackson tell us what's going on with the case, and then we'll let you have your say, okay?
Madam Chair, members of the board, this case is before you for imposition of a fine. The inspector is Juan Davis. Ms. Davis reports she's had no contact with respondent first time she's seen him. And the only knowledge she has is that he hasn't pulled any permits. Nothing has happened, and to her knowledge, and the intent of the staff is to request $250 a day fine to a maximum of $10,000.
Okay. Juan, do you have anything you want to add?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Come forward and tell us what you'd like to tell us.
As far as everybody says, I'm sure it's too bad going to get fined here. There's 2 items from last week. This is the only information I have from the city. I know it's probably bad. I've been trying to work on it myself. I've limited fines and like that, but this is basically the most of the information I've got. Fine everything like that.
What are those that you have in your hand?
This one right here.
And what's the date on that notice?
It is July 12th, I believe.
This is the notice I sent.
Okay.
And
You have another notice?
And it was returned.
Oh, it was returned.
Yeah.
I never received it.
Well, it said it was posted. You posted it? No.
Posted where?
Oh, I'm sorry. You said that. No, it wasn't posted. The notice of violation was returned, correct?
It was returned.
Is there a better address for you?
That's where I live on that. Every morning until like 12 o'clock. I don't know how she could see me on that. Posted it where?
It was posted on the front door.
Uh-huh.
The original notice went out March 5th.
Never got it.
It was
Sir,
returned.
allow her to speak, please.
Also.
The original notice went out March the 5th. The notice was returned, and then I posted on the front screen door on April the 25th. Because the original notice was for overgrown grass in the roof, and I noticed that the grass had been cut, so I posted the property. And the actual screen was open, the door was open, and I knocked and no one answered.
Okay.
What time is it?
That I don't recognize.
Mr. Meeks, what? We can see the damage on the roof. What are you doing about that?
I'm looking at some contractors right now. I got one guy who's giving me an estimate of about $2,000 which I don't have right now. And working with another guy, he came to look at it, but I never heard from him again. He's working on another job.
Are you living there?
I live there.
Is the damage from the hurricane, or?
Yeah, basically, it came a couple days after, but it kind of sagged down a little bit.
So it's just a small portion of the roof, or is it the whole roof?
No, it's just the little part, the soffit part came down. And I was trying to work on this apple, but I got limited funds. And so trying to find people who come through it and things like that, it's very difficult. Money-wise.
I hear you saying two things. You're saying there's limited funds, but it also, you contacted our contractor.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we want to know, are you going to repair it or?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And this is something that needs to be permitted as well.
Correct.
Get a permit here.
I'm just looking into it for part of it right now. See how much more cost.
Well, let's see, you were first notified in March.
I never see the notification.
It was posted on your door in April.
In April?
If I may.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, we have the
Yes, sir.
return letter that says unclaimed. Which that's there. It indicates unclaimed to Paul Meeks, 239 Graham Street, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32114.
Mhm.
And that was returned 4/1/18.
Mhm.
What is the date of the one piece that you signed for?
Mine was unclaimed too.
It
Hers
was-
is-
Oh, so we have two unclaimed.
How did you notify
But
me?
I'm done.
This letter here.
How did you
What's the
get?
date of that?
I think you said July 12th, right?
Yeah.
And what, is that just a notice to appear here? The notice?
If I may, Madam Chair, this is a response from the hearing, affidavit of noncompliance.
Okay.
So that's what was sent apparently to the same address and apparently received.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't look like you've made any forward progress. Does anybody else have anything to say? Any questions for anybody?
How long would it take for you to get the money to get it repaired?
It's going to take at least a couple, maybe 3 months. 2 months.
All right. The chair will entertain a motion to, I agree with the city at this point. The chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $250 a day against the respondent effective today, August 9th, 2018, and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches the maximum of $10,000. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like
Nay.
sign opposed.
Nay.
Let's have a roll call vote.
Ms. Cundiff?
Yes.
Ms. Hines?
Yes.
Ms. House?
No.
Mr. Harrington?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
No.
Mr. Weatherholt?
No.
Three yes.
Motion fails.
Motion fails. Would someone else make a motion? We had no discussion, so I don't know what the no people are thinking. So if you voted no, please speak up.
I would like to give this gentleman a little more time to get his estimates and to work it out. He obviously has some financial issues, and because there was a mix-up in the original notification, I think extending that at least another month would be fair and equitable.
Well, if you simply return something and don't sign for it, that bothers me. It should be on, is it on? It if I don't want to receive something, I don't sign for it.
Right.
That may indeed be the case, but we don't know that for sure. I just would like to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think our board bends over backwards for most people, and I would like to do the same for this gentleman. If he complies and gets it fixed, all the better for everybody.
We're talking about going from March now and adding another 3 or 4 months onto it.
I think you said a month.
Well, if he can get estimates and a permit ordered, then he would be in compliance at our next meeting.
Well, he got the letter to appear here in July, early July. I would have, for me, I would have gone and immediately started applying for permits, not wait to come here in August.
I understand what you're saying, Neil, but I feel that we have been lenient with a number of people, and I would like to continue that.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. I
Thank
think
you.
we should give him an opportunity, but
If he
if we
doesn't
send
do
him
it,
any more letters and
Right.
they're not returned, that's when I think we should
Right.
take this more serious.
I agree.
So am I hearing, Ms. House, that you're saying another
Extension.
month?
Yes.
Mr. Weatherholtz, I'd like to hear from you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to amend my motion.
Okay.
And vote for the following.
Okay, so now do we have a tie?
No,
No.
we were at 3-3.
Did you want to move to reconsider?
He's gonna change.
Yes.
You want to
Make a motion to
reconsider the motion?
Opposed to 5.
Okay. All right, a motion has been made to reconsider.
You have to vote on the motion to reconsider first.
We have to vote on the motion to reconsider. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed. All right. The motion.
Roll call vote.
No.
We need a roll call vote for the original motion, which was $250 per day, up to $10,000 effective today.
Ms. Cundick,
Yes.
Ms. Hines,
Yes.
Ms. House,
No.
Mr. Harrington,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
No.
Mr. Weatherholt,
Yes.
4-2.
All right, motion carries. Thank you.
So sometimes you need a roll call vote.
Right, absolutely. It's hard to tell. Right. Okay. So the motion carries. So the quicker you get this done, the better off things are going to be for you. And the cases.
That to him.
So it's going to be $250 per day until you get this done. Because up to $10,000.
That's the gentleman why you
No, we've made our decision. The board has made a decision, and that's unfortunately the end of that. So, all right, let's move on to our new cases. All right, Mr. Attorney, what is your case number?
16.
16. We'll hear that. Please come forward. What's your name, sir?
Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is Aaron Elkine.
Okay.
Mr. Jackson, do you think first?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll hear from Mr. Jackson first, and then we'll let you speak. Yeah, and Cliff too.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for determination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector is Cliff Reckenzone. Mr. Reckenzone reports as the violation indicates there are two, the issue is one issue, but there's two concerns. It's the exterior property area, damaged seawall. And a big concern is that there is people that we believe that there's some aspect of a hazard because of the manner in which that seawall where people are tending to go under or shelter themselves underneath that. And so we have two issues. One, we're asking for 10 days to secure to keep people from entering in or under, and then for them to be in compliance with repair by the next cutoff. And I will let,
What are we asking to be repaired? I see a lot of issues here that don't look like they're safe. That whole portion of the wall. There were stairs that didn't have any railing on them.
Didn't we hear this before?
Has this case been before us?
Yes.
no, we had a similar case with people underneath a
Right, that was,
seawall with a hotel.
but that was not here.
That's not this
Right,
one.
that's not this one. Right.
Yes. We'll look to Mr. Reckenzon to give you further explanation, and I'm sure Mr. Alkine can tell you what they're intending or how they plan to address it.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Mr. Reckenzon. My credentials are on file. They did secure the outside with the yellow, with the orange fence.
I can't.
Around the area, but there's still a hole where the transients can actually come inside, and actually they stay underneath the cement. In that
Looks
corner.
pretty open to me, correct?
There's.
That's what I'm seeing. I don't know whether
It's just,
Yeah, it's. You see that orange fence there? That wraps around the entire. That wraps around that entire corner. You can't see it because of the shading, but it's that orange is wrapping around.
that low orange fencing down there?
Yes, that wraps around all of the telephone poles. So you
But
can't see
that only looks to be like a foot high.
the whole structure is about 4.5 feet to 5 feet tall.
Right.
From the stand up. It's a vacant lot. So underneath that corner there, that's where the transients are staying, or inside underneath that cement. And that's where, that was the safety issue that we're concerned with.
Can I
So-
ask how long the fence has been up?
The fence has been
Yeah,
put up
where's the fence?
within the last few weeks.
Okay, so it was cited in February.
I can address it.
Well, wait, okay. Well, let's.
Let me finish.
Let Mr. Weatherholtz finish, please.
It's a temporary fence, plastic fence, probably 3 feet high, covering a 4-foot opening that's dangerous to the public, and it should have been secured, in my opinion, in a better mode. And I think that there's been numerous complaints about it being a safety hazard. So with that, I will let someone else speak.
Okay, I have a question. What is the fix for this? What would bring this into compliance?
They have to, they're in plans right now to replace the seawall eventually. It's a process that they're going through with the city.
Uh-huh.
And right now, the immediate fix needs to be to make sure that it's safe, that it's not as dangerous to the public.
So it needs to be fenced off. That whole structure needs to be fenced off so no one can get in it, on it, whatever. And that hasn't happened yet, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, now, Mr. Elkine.
Let me do this, if I may.
Okay.
Madam Chair. And first, I have never been here before, and before this board anyways. I've been in this room, so it's my pleasure to be here for sure.
Thank you.
Just for the record, Darren Zilfirm is the city attorney of City of Deland.
Okay.
Well,
For what?
they already know I'm a lawyer, and they're holding that against me. And I'm a code enforcement special magistrate in another county, so I understand the process
Okay.
well. I appreciate, and I know you get paid a lot to do this.
That's
so I
it.
appreciate
That's
it.
it.
Let me back up and give a little history and explain
Okay.
my involvement, what's going to happen, what has happened, how we got here, and where we're going to go.
Okay.
So I got contacted about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, and not because of this wall, nor because of this code enforcement problem. Didn't even know about it when I was originally contacted by the property owner. The property owner is not a developer. It's a company, but it's a gentleman from South America who is a corporation, and he owns 2 oceanfront parcels in Daytona Beach, which are really, future hotel parcels or that type of thing. And they are currently in a process, they have a lease with the Ocean Deck, that's not the name of the corporation, but the
Yeah.
Ocean Deck to use it for a parking lot. And they have an engineer, and they were going through the process of changing the zoning to allow for that use, which, as I understood it, necessarily would have included redoing the seawall and, paving, stormwater, whatever goes along with a parking lot. While they were in that process, sort of midstream, they thought they were close to the end of that zoning approval process, which would have led to the construction permits. The city told them, we don't want to just let you build a parking lot. We want you to do some other things with your zoning to be a little more thoughtful, a little more forward-thinking in terms of the redevelopment of this parcel, because it's in an important area. Go forward, which you're mentioning works, and when the owner, not a developer, got told about there's somebody at the city now that wants you to change your zoning and give up some of your development rights, better get a lawyer to look at that. That's why I was home.
Okay.
And looked at it, I talked with city staff, and I said, I do this on the other side of the dais, so to speak. And I said, well, that makes a lot of sense, and the city really is working with you. They're thinking ahead. At that point, the plan, at least tentatively, it was in place, was to have a boardwalk. As I learned, we all probably learned Tuesday, that may or may not come to fruition. But in any event, the city was trying to be a little more forward-thinking, and my involvement in the process was to say, let's get the professional planner involved, and let's do what the city's asking vis-a-vis rezoning the property to not just plan for a parking lot, but to plan, it's not going to be a parking lot forever, the future ultimate use of the property. That makes good sense. As part of that process, and really unrelated, as I understood, to the code enforcement process, the consulting engineering firm hired a structural engineer to go out and say, can that seawall, the client's going to have to pay for it, obviously, can that seawall be rebuilt? What's going on with the seawall? And he said, no, you can't really say that seawall is going to have to be completely rebuilt from the ground up. It just can't be done. So that's the plan, that they have to rebuild the seawall, and we've gotten a couple of just ballpark estimates, but we don't have a contractor lined up to do it. What will dictate the seawall and exactly what it looks like, precisely where it gets built, although I assume, based on DEP regulations, it'll be in pretty much the same location, will be dictated by accommodating whatever the city's requests are, and what my client's needs are too, in terms of rezoning of the property, so it's not just a parking lot, but can accommodate future development on the site. That will dictate the plan for the seawall. In the interim, the client's representative of the Board of Miami sends me a code enforcement notice. I said, well, what is this? And so, the city, not code enforcement staff, but the zoning office, and said, what's going on with this? And they said, we've got homeless people living, there's a hole in there, we've got homeless people living. And we've got it set for a zoning board, just an update, no approvals, but just sort of an update of what's going on. So I said, well, I'll come over, I'm going to take care of this, because that's what I do when I'm involved in a case, or I just don't get involved. And I told them, not the zoning board, but the client, you need to do something temporarily to safe that thing up, because there's homeless people living in there, and that's not a good thing. And I made the comment to my client, I made the comment to the zoning board, nobody had mentioned this to me. I said, but, my children are a little bit older now, but I take them to the beach periodically, and they would be the type to run up in that hole if they, and I went by, and it was a mess. It looks horrible. It shouldn't be like that. It cannot remain like that, and it needs to be fixed. So they had a difficult time. They hired one contractor, for whatever reason, that fellow wouldn't get out and do it, so they close to Miami. They're asking me for numbers, and I didn't have anyone, but they ultimately found somebody who went and put up a fence, which, as I understand it, was sufficient to keep the homeless people out. And this was the first I've heard, and I had a wonderful conversation with Mr. Rankin yesterday, but I didn't appreciate, nobody mentioned to me until this morning, this other little area here. We'll get it fixed. If I have to go out with my pickup truck and put a pile of dirt around it, okay, that'll get done. That's not a problem. That needs to be done. Either I'll get fired and I won't be the lawyer anymore, or it'll get taken care of. That's that. The process of replacing the seawall, if you want to talk about bureaucracy, replacing a seawall is facetious here. It's
No,
bureaucracy writ large. But, I mean, it's a very doable process.
Right.
It happens all the time, obviously. But it is a process
Right.
both from design, permitting, and then construction. And there are some timing constraints on when you can do the work in that construction work in the coastal area, which frankly I'm not particularly familiar with. But that's the process. So at this point in time, we are going through the zoning process. There is a pending case, although I think that the precise thing that gets approved is going to change in terms of the zoning. The seawall will be replaced. What I discussed with, I didn't appreciate the need, I thought we had safed it up so that the homeless folks couldn't get in there. We'll take care of that. This is the first step to learn that. The other thing that I learned yesterday was that your city has a program that a lot of cities don't have, and this is a wonderful thing, is that if we just put up, completely free of charge, by the way, for the taxpayer and the property owner, if we do the trespass authorization pursuant to state law and put up the signs, which we are happy to do, our clients were excited about this, police will just remove anybody that's there from the property. And that's a wonderful service. Happy to take advantage of it. Just learned about that yesterday, and we will get that signed up and signs posted and authorized the police department ASAP. I was not aware that anybody wanted a fence vertically on top of the seawall to fence the property out, so that's not something that has been requested that I was aware of. So I want to level set on that. I don't think that anybody's asking for that, nor... Yes, ma'am.
My only concern with fencing the whole thing off is that the structure looks like it could fall down.
So
So I just interested in the safety of the citizens and anybody else, tourists and anybody else that might use that. We, as far as I know, have no connection to any of the zoning issues or, redevelopment issues. My concern is that this looks like,
Horrible.
like it's a dangerous situation, and I don't know that I would really like to ask. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Reckenzone asked me that question yesterday.
Okay.
My client paid at about the same time I got hired. The consulting engineer that got hired had them hire a structural engineer who went out and inspected it. The conversation that I had on a phone conference with the civil engineer and the structural engineer was, can you repair this, or do you have to build a hole in the seawall? You've got to build a hole in the seawall. He did not indicate in any way that it was at risk of falling down. You've got some liability there. When I spoke with Mr. Reckenzone, he asked me the same question. And so I need to get an answer for that. I don't think it is, but I'm not an engineer, and I didn't ask the question in the phone conference. So as soon as I get indication from them, Mr. Reckenzone asked me to get him something in writing from the engineer on that issue. Quite frankly, it's a liability issue and everything else. So if that's the case, then we've got to do something else. My understanding was, because the whole conversation with the structural engineer was, you can't, when it's time to rebuild it to support the load of hotels and all the other improvements that would go there, it's got to be completely rebuilt. Didn't indicate at all that it was at any risk of just falling down on somebody. We'll get an answer for that, and when we come back to you with the next report, we'll have that addressed. We will address that whole. I didn't appreciate that.
Despite all this clarity,
yes.
The question here is, are you going to seal up the hole and get that done? Isn't that what we're really here for right now?
We have sealed up. You're talking about that hole right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I think
he
no
said
question
that.
about it.
Right.
That's what we want.
Unless I get fired, I won't be here at the next meeting unless that hole is fixed. Either I'm fired or that hole is
That's
fixed.
how you need to resolve the safety issues. That's the important thing right now.
If you're talking about fixing the rest of that hole that I guess they didn't catch, because somebody got hired and went out there, and if the client appreciated that hole had to be covered, they would have done that while they were there. I'm telling you, this may sound like I'm being silly, but I'm being serious. Literally, I'll tell the client, contact that contractor, go back and cover that hole, and if they can't do it, it looks to me like I literally could fix that. I'll go do it.
I'd like to make a comment.
Go ahead, Mr. Weatherholtz.
This is one of the issues that we're having along beach side.
Absolutely.
I think that, in my opinion, that the structure should be demoed for public safety. when, you place the fence up, the temporary fencing, that is really very inadequate to start off with as far as protecting the public and keeping whoever out, whether it's the homeless or, as you said, your child. I think a more permanent fixture should be installed, something that preferably I would like to see it tore down. The only reason that I would be opposed to tearing it down right now would be an issue of re-permitting it, or that can be another issue. But we're going to have, we're in storm season, and I'm sure your engineer told you that it's not going to be a quick fix, and you're talking about development. First of all, you started with an unlicensed, unprepared parking area that wasn't permitted by the city. Just a sequence of events. And now with this here, I'm sure that they're going to be looking at redeveloping it, whatever. It's going to have to be torn down eventually anyways. And so I would recommend that it be torn down now. In the meantime, until a demolition or something, and I'm not the building official or whatever. This is just a personal opinion.
Yeah, the professional, I've asked the question to the city and asked very specifically, tear it down and rebuild it. They said you absolutely do not do that. So understand what you're saying, and to me, it made sense to me just being a lawyer, not an engineer. And the city has said, do not tear it down, re-permit it, build a new seawall in that location, which is, client understands they got to build a new seawall. That's good.
I think that it should be it should be secured.
Yeah, I think that is the big. I think that's the big issue for me as well, for all of us. Is that this, until such time as everything gets worked out, that this needs to be secured. And whether it's a chain link fence around it that's 6 feet high or whatever, if that's what it needs to be, I think that's what would make us feel comfortable rather than just leaving. Yes?
If the city tells me it needs a chain link fence, and we'll give you can get a permit for a chain link fence, if this is where the chain link fence needs to go, our client will not have a problem putting a chain link fence.
Well, I would.
We asked the city, what would you like us to do as a temporary fix? And they said, nail up something so the homeless people can't go in there. We did that. If you want a chain link fence, put a chain link fence.
I think it.
Hold on. All right. Go ahead.
Police officer.
Yes, sir.
I know did you have any comments on the securing of it? I know it's posting is one thing that it should have been.
I know from our aspect, the posting will probably go a great deal into solving the problem with the homeless issue. As far as fencing it, I don't know what the requirements are for a chain link fence. You have to ask these folks that. I don't know that they can put a chain link fence up there. I'll let them answer that. But I think posting it and getting it signed up on our trespass site list will close to solve the homeless issue. And we haven't had any issues on the upper portion of the lot that I'm aware of. It's all underneath. And I haven't seen this fence.
I'll be truthful. If someone else has an issue about putting it up above it, I don't. But definitely around the opening and everything, it has to be secured where. And I think chain link fencing, if that is possible.
All right, Ms. House would like to say something.
This eyesore has been there for years, and that's exactly what it is to our beach. And securing it is a given. It has to be secured. In the process, I'm not a big fan of chain link fences. I think they're ugly. But I would like to see these people who have this property take an interest in our city and invest in something that would not only secure the beach and the people that are on it, but to enhance it, at least put something up that isn't ugly.
I'm doing a poor job because I'm not explaining what my client is going to do. They're going to replace the seawall. It is going to be a
new... but that's in the meantime. It should be fixed now, and it should be aesthetically decent.
If somebody will tell me the plan, my client is not cheap, they will.
Right. Okay. Can I ask one more factual question? How long has this person owned this property? I mean, a ballpark figure is fine,
I literally just.
which makes it not factual, but okay.
No. There is an answer.
Okay.
They bought it. I don't know if I have it in this file. I want to say they bought it in sometime after the prices went down, and they bought a couple of properties in Volusia County.
So
And they-
you're talking about 2008-ish?
Yeah, don't really.
Yeah. No. Okay. And at that time, was it in this condition?
Yes, it's been that way since I've been here.
6/4/2012.
2012.
Yeah.
But I think
But this,
they-
I'm sorry.
That's okay. go.
Okay, so this property has been owned since 2012. It has been in that condition.
For 15 years I've been here.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Now I'd like to hear from Mr. Jackson. I want to know what the city recommends at this point.
Madam Chair, at this point, the city is recommending that the circumstance regarding this entry in that this concern is opening, that be remedied as soon as possible. Beyond that, there are a number of things that I think is going to take various departments, there's regulatory issues related and other things that's going to take various departments to determine what needs to be done beyond.
Absolutely.
It will, I think we should perhaps put them on a progress report on what happens with the seawall. The inspector doesn't really have a timetable right now. What's a reasonable time for that all to be complete? What we do know is that immediately we need to remedy the issue of these openings that are creating these public safety issues.
Agreed.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
the gentleman representing these people is agreeing to every single thing we're
I
asking.
think.
I don't think it matters how long ago this issue has been around. His issue hasn't been around except for him coming here representing his client. He's going to do exactly what we've asked, and then you move on and do the rest. I mean, I think it's pretty sensible to agree with what he's saying. I think it's refreshing to see somebody coming here saying, yes, I'm glad to help in any way I possibly can. So
I agree with you,
I
and
agree with
since
this gentleman,
he's
and I don't
asking
think
us
we should
what,
stay all day on it. I mean, I think it's an
Yeah.
obvious thing that needs to be done.
and as long as you're asking, here's what we want, here's what I want. I want it to look good. I don't want it a big old plastic yellow or orange fence around there with a bunch of sand and a hole. I want it to be aesthetically pleasing, and I know that's not a thing that's on here, but we have other neighborhoods that we want them to beautify the neighborhood and not look like an eyesore. And this is just a horrible eyesore on the beach. And if you convey that to your client, if he shows some pride in it, he might get it sold and turned over faster.
If we're being honest, like I was when I said I didn't have to be in court, so I said.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's an investor, and he doesn't look at it, he doesn't see it, he's not part of the community. But there is a requirement as a property owner to maintain your property
Right.
in accordance with the code. So I don't want to represent to you that he's going to do something that's artistic
Right.
and decorative, and
Right.
he's not going to do what
Right.
the Browns do and build a beautiful flower garden on the property.
Right.
But what I have made clear to them and what they understand is that once we're done with that zoning process, we've got to get through it pretty quickly. The seawall has to be replaced, and it will be a new seawall. They have to mow the grass on top, and obviously cure the homeless issue. So I don't want to make any representations that something's going to happen. It's not. I agree with you 100%. When I got hired, I drove over there and looked at it, and
Yikes.
oh my gosh, and it's right on the beach in a prime tourist area. This is horrible.
It is.
So I get it, but it's, with all due respect, reaching for the water.
Okay, well, you preach to your client and let him know, how we feel about this. And I admire that you're going to fix it yourself, if nothing else, but it should be a little bit more permanent. And we certainly make people mow their yards and clean up their trash. This is trash to me, that whole area.
Yeah, and if there's something better that can be done that's more secure, until
Yeah.
the seawall's replaced, it's not going to look good, quite frankly. But if there's something more secure and the city says, this is what you can do that's more secure, and they recommend it, you know, if you got a contractor that's cheap, then recommend contractors. My client is not one to fuss about paying for the things that need to be done, so.
Well, then tell him we want it fixed and fixed nicely.
Okay. So is it am I correct in understanding the city just wants that hole fixed?
Yeah.
That's all the city is asking for.
The city wants the whole, everything we do, we want the whole job done. But our immediate need
Yes.
is for,
Okay.
to
It's to
remedy
close
by
that.
Well, say health, safety should have to be dealt with immediately.
How many times?
Yeah.
May I say one more thing, Madam Chair? Only because I do this for a living.
That's okay.
I agreed not to, you know, go through and have a formal hearing or anything when I spoke to Mr. Rankinson yesterday. That was going to, you have a process of, I forget what the terminology used, is a status update.
Progress report.
It should put on a progress report, as opposed to giving me 10 days or 20 days to fix that hole. I'm going to leave here. I'm going to call the folks and say, call that. I just didn't know about this. They didn't appreciate that they didn't completely close that up. I will say, call that to that same contractor and have them go cover. There's a little hole. Have them do something to shore that up. And if they say they can't do it, you think I'm joking? I have a pickup truck. I will drive over there.
I don't think you're joking, and we appreciate
And
that.
so just, what's we typically do every 30 days? Or?
Well, we'd like to put a timetable on the, on getting this closed. If we can do it in 5, if you think that's something,
Okay.
I mean, you're representing to us that you'll run out there and do it yourself, so I'm shorting it for you, but we really want it as fast as we can get it. So if you can do it in 5 days, wonderful.
Okay.
We tend to give 10,
10 days.
but we want it as fast as possible.
We
All right.
need to look at a progress report, because if these things are not done, the board needs to act and explain it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
but
that's
my concern is securing that whole
Got it.
piece, not just that hole,
My understanding is it's secure.
because it's falling, it's crumbling. That's what concerns me. Is that a concern to the city?
It is, Madam Chair.
Okay.
And the city's response to us that we requested and we're expecting a report as to the structural safety of it. To know
Okay.
that, right? At this point, we don't have any knowledge that tells us that it's not structurally sufficient.
Okay. All right.
So he asked for 10 days. So
Okay.
Make a motion.
All right, let's make, okay, the chair will accept a motion to find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance in the next 10 days by securing and repairing the property.
The property.
No, you don't like
No,
that,
the
huh?
whole.
Resolve safety issues that takes.
The what?
Resolve all safety issues that takes.
Hang on.
Okay.
Here's what I committed to do. There's a hole that I was unaware of where I would have had it taken care of by the contractor before I got here. I learned
Okay.
about the hole that got missed, I guess, this morning. We will get that hole covered up so that nobody can crawl under that hole and get inside. That we will do within 10 days if I have to do it myself.
Okay.
That's what's going to happen in 10 days. The rest of it is part of whether you want to put it on a progress report or you take it through the process. The rest of the things I've described will happen in due course. That's the one thing that will happen in 10 days.
Madam Chair, what we generally request and require is that it be secured to the city standards. And so that's the starting point. And the city standards would be for, at this time, what our knowledge is that we need that open hole closed. But that would have to get approved by the inspector that it meets the city standards for security at this point within this 10-day time period.
Okay.
That's our request.
All right, let's try this again.
And reminded as well that also that they sign up for the trespass arrest site, which is what they said they intended.
Can I ask you to do one thing for me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on, I'm taking some liberties, but I apologize. This was, when I found out about this, the client's excited. I would ask you not to order my client to do it. He's going to do it. He has no reason not to. Don't order that, please.
We have to, or I mean, that's what we do.
No, the 10 days is fine. The whole, I meant the trespass warning.
Oh, you want more time than 10 days?
No, I'll get it done, but just don't make it part of an order. Take my word for it that it'll be done. It's
Well,
going-
if it's not done, you'll be in big trouble.
No, I appreciate that.
Now, why wouldn't we order that?
Well,
I think it's a dangerous, go ahead, I'll give you the legal reason.
As we're thinking through, we typically don't order, we just instruct it, and they go and take care of it. That's really the option of, it's shared liability is the option.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. My client was excited when they heard about that.
Right.
As a lawyer and one who pays close attention to the Constitution, I don't want to cause a problem. This is my client's going to do
I think
it.
we leave it out.
The idea that you're going to order somebody to authorize law enforcement to issue trespass orders on property, I fundamentally have a problem with. But I'm telling you, my client's going to do it. We're going to be involved in this process with the city for a long time. So if I'm telling you we're going to do things that don't happen, then I need to demonstrate this building again.
Yeah, can we get an order to
Order me to do it in 10 days.
secure it in 10 days? Go from there.
Try again.
Make a motion.
Do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that this hole is plugged up and it's in compliance with safety issues, and it's done within 10 days.
And that next month we ask for a progress report.
To establish, I don't know if we'll be ready yet to establish a compliance state, but we'll be looking to try and
Progress
establish.
report is
Okay, so that was a
additional
motion.
item to allow.
Yeah, the progress report on the, I think we're particularly looking at the engineering report, right?
Well, the overall issue.
Yeah, overall issues.
Ideally, well, yeah, this is. really-
But I guess the
So
motion is
ideally,
to
it would
add
be that
that.
we have the engineering report and have some more direction on where we're going and how fast we can get there.
Okay.
What's a motion?
All right, so the motion was made to secure the hold to city standards in 10 days,
And then
and to
progress.
next month start a progress report on, just have a progress report next month.
Is there a grant?
What?
And non.
And find the respondent in noncompliance at this point.
Okay.
If they don't do it in 10 days, is there a fine?
Well, that would be, that's why we need to go back at next meeting. That's why I wanted to ask somebody to come back in the next meeting. If they don't do it, need some
So moved.
hammer.
I'll get it.
Okay.
All right, the motion's been made. June, can you read back the motion, please?
The motion was to find the respondent in non-compliance and order them to secure the whole property there, around there, to city standards within 10 days, and we'll have a progress report at the next meeting.
Madam Chair, our typical language is look at short-term partial orders that will be returned to the board for consideration of $5.
Right.
And I don't know how up to this, do you have any maximum value? No,
It's
no, that's per
1,000,
day, so
right, $1,000 per day.
Can I be
at
heard on
that
that thing? 'Cause we haven't discussed the
Oh,
fine.
There's no fine.
But there is no
No,
fine.
there's no fine.
That's our standard language order.
There's no fine at this point. That's what the
Okay.
allows them to
You
do.
don't comply in 10 days and haven't gotten out there with your shovel and filled it
I
out.
understand.
You're going to pay $1,000 a day within the 10 days.
But it wouldn't be imposed until the next meeting.
I second the motion.
Okay, so moved.
All right, we have a motion.
Can I?
Yes. All right, yeah, I mean, really, we're getting, I'd like to, I think what we've said is reasonable. I think the motion's reasonable. And I think we need to move forward.
Yes.
We have a motion from Mrs. House. Is there a second?
He seconded.
Mr. Harrington seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. We'll see you next month.
a lot of talking for one little hole.
All right, let the record show Mr. Weatherholtz is not here for the next case.
And next case is number what?
17. All right, now we're going back to the new cases, right?
Yeah.
All right, what's the number 9? Did we do 9?
No.
Okay, we're on case number 9, CEB 081887, Donald Bernard. Mr. Barnard, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and be sworn in.
There's Donald Bernard, 516 Little Matappa Road, Altamont Springs, Florida, 32714.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth and the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll hear from Mr. Jackson first and Mr. Fitzgerald, then we'll give you a chance to respond. This is just for compliance or non-compliance.
That's correct, Madam Chair. And the inspector in this case is Mike Fitzgerald. Mr. Fitzgerald states that he had no contact with the respondent. In fact, this is the first time he's ever seen him. And that, to his knowledge, there's been no changes from what was initially cited. He's asking for a finding of non-compliance and for the respondent to come into compliance by next call.
Okay.
And then Mr. Fitzgerald gave me that.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to add? Pictures show things. Please come up, Mr. Bernard, and tell us what you'd like to tell us.
Well, I take this very seriously, and the charges or whatever are true.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the
Okay.
pictures.
Yeah, I can see.
I have started some repairs on that. In fact, I think right now they're doing the glass in the windows.
So you're making progress?
Yeah, we've cleaned up. We've had some vines that are solid on the other side of the house. We've done a lot of the artwork. My biggest problem the past 2 months has rained almost every day. So, and all my work is outside mostly. So we're in the process of cleaning up. We have some issues with fencing there.
Do you live there?
No.
Does anyone live there?
No one lives there.
Okay.
The house was built in 1908,
Mm-hmm.
and we got it in really, really bad shape.
When was that?
2004. We've done a lot of work, and we're trying to keep it historical. We're trying to keep it the way it was without too much changing.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, you're right. We've had the outdoor problems. We're trying to fix, and we'll have it done. We'll have it done in 30 days, for sure.
Okay.
I've done most of them. Just I apologize for not getting in touch with you.
Okay.
That's totally not-
So, all right, that seems fine. The Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance and or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is 9/5/18, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion? Motion, Mr. Harrington. Second, Mr. Jones. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Case number 10, CB 08-18-88, Anders Migdalik. Respondent present.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for determination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector is Mike Fitzgerald. Mr. Fitzgerald reports he's been in contact with the respondent. The respondent pulled permits. He's working on compliance and expects to be in compliance by next call.
Okay. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance in order to respond to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, September 5th, 2018, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion Mrs. Himes, second Mrs. House. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 11 has been withdrawn. Case number 12, CEB 08-18-90, Robbie L. and Robert Dillman. at 716 Davis. Respondent present? Did somebody, I saw someone out of the corner of my eye just leave.
Well, there's someone with some stuff
Yeah,
still here, so
that's where he
maybe
was
that's what it
sitting.
was.
That's his case.
Well,
Go to the next one.
Stuff out, he still has his stuff. So I'd have to-
well, give him a minute to come back in if he's out here.
Sheriff, he asked where the restroom was. He asked the deputy. where the
Okay.
restroom was.
Well, let's just then go on to case number 13. We'll do that one. 0818-74 Pelicano Crusher Corp. at 1169 Indian Lake Road. Is that respondent present? Hello.
State your name and address, please.
Maria Cindra.
What is your name?
Maria.
Can you spell that, please?
Cintroa.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, we will hear from Mr. Jackson, and then we'll let you speak. There. Okay.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you put determination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector is Cliff Reckenzone. Mr. Reckenzone reports that the respondent failed to obtain a business tax license, which he'll speak to in just a moment. And a stop work order was issued for the activity, and he expects that they will be in compliance by next call. And again, I'll turn to Mr. Reckenzone to give you a more clear factual information regarding it.
Okay. Good morning again.
When I went out to the property and I stopped them from working because they didn't have a business tax, they stopped all work. They're working with the city as of now to get their business tax. It just hasn't come to, it hasn't happened yet.
Okay. What would you like to tell us? You've applied then for your business tax receipt?
It's our understanding that we're only waiting for the site plan approved, and then we can actually obtain the business tax license. So if that is totally accurate, then we're just waiting. So I guess we need a time extension until it's approved. We submitted our latest revision last Friday. I've been back and forth with that a couple of times, but I think.
Well, let's just, I mean, we'll find you a non-compliance day and give you the month to get all of that work in. That should be adequate, correct?
And then a month.
Yeah. So,
Are you going to site plan approval?
I'm sorry?
You're going through site plan approval with the city?
You submitted the last revision.
Have you got any comments back?
It was last Friday, so not as of today, but it's the third time.
What are you saying?
but it's a third time, so that should be
We should be close
right.
to get
Okay.
that approved. And then after that, I'm not sure what I do if I.
Right. Then you'll come back and you'll explain to us what's going on, and the city will explain to us what's going on, and we'll make a decision. What? Can I just ask what kind of business this is?
Crushing concrete.
Crushing concrete.
So road base and.
How long has this been in business? Have you been at this site?
We've tried, they started in 2015, but
Okay.
different ownership, and we started, I think that as of December, we have everything ready to actually start the construction, and we had an issue with wetlands, so with St. John's.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Is there environmental issues involved in this? Is there environmental issues?
We had in December, and then we had to change the whole site plan to actually take that piece of property out while we resolved that. But that's why we did construction at that point. All
Are
of
you-
this will be the,
And I assume that you're building debris, sidewalks, concrete.
no, everything that is required.
No, I mean, in your business, crushing.
Uh-huh.
What do you use? You crush concrete.
Right, we receive concrete, crush it, and sell it as ropes or stone.
Who are your customers that you receive your concrete from?
We're not in business now, so.
I mean, who did
But we
you?
will call like concrete plants and see if they are interested in getting rid of the
Okay.
All right. All right, the chair, any other comments? The chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance in order to respond come into compliance by the next cutoff date, September 5th, 2018, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Just, Amos.
What?
$250.
And impose a one-time $250 fee. Okay. Thank you. Such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Mrs. House. Second, Mrs. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Okay, so you have till next month. And then if something happens because there's a complication, you'll come back and let us know, okay? All right. Mr. Dillman, we called your case, so come on up. Case number CEB 081890 at 716 Davis Street. And we'll hear from Mr. Jackson first, and then we'll give you, state your name and address for the record and be sworn in, please.
The address of the property, my home address.
Your home address would be good.
315 Waverly Circle, Daytona Beach, 32118.
Okay.
Robert Dillman.
Raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll hear from Mr. Jackson and Mr. Fitzgerald, then you can tell us what you need to.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for determination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector is Mike Fitzgerald. Mr. Fitzgerald is cited the respondent for the dilapidated roof with Roger Wood and Kevin Payne. And he reports that the respondent should be able to come into compliance by next cutoff, so he's asking for finding non-compliance in the next cutoff. I would tender Mr. Fitzgerald if you have any factual questions.
Okay. All right. What would you, do you want to add anything? Okay. All right. Mr. Dillman.
My first notification from you was the same day I was in Halifax Medical Center having major surgery, and so I didn't get the letter and get it open until maybe a month later. I have that information in my pocket if you need to see it, and I respectfully sat down and wrote Mr. Fitzgerald a letter, and told him all about that, and that I'd get to it as soon as I possibly could.
Okay.
Okay. Surgery went okay, recovered. We're good.
Good.
Okay. Well, no, I wouldn't call it that, but
Well,
better than feared, but not as good as hoped.
okay.
In the meantime, I had a tenant leave in April, and needless to say, my surgery created a financial and physical problems for me. And basically, since my tenant moved out in April, long-term tenant, I might add, we've been working inside and cleaning it up and have been there. As a matter of fact, the picture shows my work truck in the background there. Okay. So, and the roof is not leaking in the dwelling. We have gotten started on the exterior repainting and such. I was going to get in touch with Mr. Fitzgerald later this month. I wasn't aware that I had a reinspection date of the 18th of last month. I was not notified about that. Do you normally notify people about things like that?
Reinspection for the rental housing reinspection?
No, the reinspection to see if it's been
Okay, I was not notified that. Okay, so that's.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Well,
okay. I've done something a little different.
Right.
But anyway, so I'm here, obviously, for that. Now, as far as a resolution to this, I have been in touch with two local long-time painting contractors because I cannot handle that
right.
myself. And I've pretty much made my decision on what company I'm going to work with. They're older guys. They don't want to do the exterior work in the heat of the summer. I have not done it yet, but I'd be happy to produce the paperwork when I do it. If I give them a deposit by the 1st on or before the 1st of September, they will commence on or before the 1st of October.
That seems a little lengthy. It's- you
All right,
know.
so we're here today to determine whether you're in compliance or non-compliance, and you can see by the pictures with the dilapidated roof, rotting wood, and peeling paint that you are not in compliance, and they're outside issues, not inside issues. I don't know anything about inside issues. We're not here for that. What we are here for are all these pictures all the things in the pictures that you see. So I think the best thing for us to do right now is to find you in non-compliance and ask you to come into compliance by the next cutoff date or come back to the board. And at that point, we want to see if you're in compliance or at least moving towards compliance.
When is the next cutoff date?
The 5th of September.
Okay, I doubt we'll be, I know we won't be in compliance by then, but I will have a progress report. I will have a deposit on a contract by then, and I don't expect, like I told you, they told me that two different contracts.
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
And that works for me financially also, respectfully. I think I was here in front of this board in '92 with this same property, so let the record show that I did everything that was asked back then.
How many rentals do you own?
Just these two.
Just those two? Okay.
Now, back then I had more.
Okay.
So this is two residents on
It's a
this
duplex.
property?
Correct.
And were both of them cited?
No, they had only one address is on
The
Yeah.
property, when we cite the property under the folio number and the main address.
Right.
But it covers the entire property. It covers any of the rotten wood around the exterior of the house. It covers that roof in the back. If it's not leaking, then it can just be painted so it looks nice.
Mr. Fitzgerald, can you explain to the board as far as what you're looking for in terms of compliance?
Yeah, compliance is painting the exterior of the building, fixing all the rotten wood, painting over that, and painting the roof to make it look nice. So the whole area is just going up.
Well,
Okay.
you understand what needs to be done.
I understand, but that was not what was stated on my sheet.
Well, it says dilapidated roof, rotting wood, and peeling paint. Okay.
Respectfully, those are two different addresses.
It's the entire property when we cite.
Come up to the mic, please.
The property is cited with the folio number.
Okay.
And the folio number includes the envelope of the building, all the buildings on the site.
All the
There's
buildings?
two buildings on the
There's two
site.
buildings on the site.
Two addresses.
What is the address of the other building?
714 Davis Street. And I did not, well, the truth of the matter is, if you went around the backside of that building, we repainted the backside and the east side more recently than the front has been done. So it's actually not in bad shape as well. But my contract, and I was only spoken to the contractors about the front building because that was the only one beside it.
Okay, so all we need to do then is amend the complaint to include 714. Is that correct, Mr. Jackson? Or does that matter?
The parcel number includes everything.
The parcel number includes everything. Is that right? That's what you're calling the folio number?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything would include
Okay.
everything.
All right. So no, that's fine. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
apparently there's some communication issues. The inspector mentions the 60-day reinspection was after he was informed of the medical issues. He gave us an additional 60 days, came back and reinspect, but there hadn't been that dialogue. So apparently if there is some confusion, that's how that may have arisen. But the only thing the inspector needs is what he just described.
All right. One more comment, and then we're going to make it.
In my mind, okay, after I sent the letter to the gentleman here, and then the other thing came up with the interior work that needed to be done, and the roof is not leaking in the building, okay? I guess we got it caught up in working inside the air conditioning and not outside. Okay, I'll admit that. Okay, but had I known that I was going to be re-inspected on last month, I may have worked things a little differently.
Okay, well,
But
this will be the month
aware of that.
to do it then. All right, so the chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance and or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, September 5th, 2018, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mrs. Himes, there a second?
Second.
Second, Mrs. House. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. So just get busy was what we're saying.
May I-
Okay, no, case is concluded right now.
I have something
Next
else I'd
month.
like to add.
Next month.
Maybe I could get some.
Like that, you could talk to Mr. Fitzgerald if there's something further that you need to talk about.
On a different issue that involves the city.
Yeah, that, well, yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Okay, let's see, the case number 14, we did 13, 14's in compliance. Case number 15, Regions Bank, CEB 081876 at 1420 Golfview Drive. Respondent present. Okay. Mrs. House has left for a few minutes.
Himes.
Mrs. Himes has left for a few minutes. State your name and address for the record, sir.
I'm Steve Gardner with Watson Realty at 808 Dunlop Avenue. I'm the realtor and representative of the bank foreclosure at the address that we're discussing.
Raise your right hand.
Where is it in the foreclosure banks for?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Where is it, is it in the foreclosure process, a foreclosure, effective files?
No, it is the bank owns it, it's foreclosed.
Okay,
The Regions Bank owns the property.
All right, so, okay, Regent, so, all right, we'll give you a chance to talk in a second. Mr. Jackson?
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for determination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector split record zone. This is the record zone reports that the situation here is that they have exterior areas for damage of fence line. As you can see, you have a partial fence. He needs them to repair or remove or the fence. There's apparently a dispute going on between the property owners as to property line, and that appears to be creating some element of delay. Mr. Records is asking for it to be found in non-compliance and for it to come into compliance by next cutoff.
Okay. Well, do you want to add anything, Mr. Atkinson? Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Gardner.
Basically, we were served the notice and there's some fencing and debris. So Regions Bank, what we do is I have a person that goes out to the properties and cleans them up. We did all that. During the process of doing such, there's a fence line if you look.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I think.
There's some posts that go
right. I see the
back
posts.
of the property.
Yeah.
Everything's been resolved. We're fine. Everything else has been taken care of. But what happened during the process is the neighbor next door, my guy was out there doing it and came out and said, basically, get off my property. Those are my posts. I'm calling the police. Blah 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 blah. Threatened him, that sort of thing. So the neighbor to the south is claiming that they're her posts. I'll have them yanked out if they were. We have no problem. We were in the process of doing it. He was pulling one out, and she basically, and then handed me the phone, and I talked to her, and she was very belligerent on the phone. So I did tell him, stop what you're doing. So that's our situation. The neighbor is claiming to the south that they're posts and not Regions. Regions, we'll take them out, but they'll also look at the guy first when he's out there doing that stuff. That's where we're at. Everything else has been taken care of.
Yes, is that correct? Everything else has been taken care of, Mr. Atkinson? Okay, so this should be taken care of by next time, too. Yes?
Maybe,
Well, that's, but that's up to them.
Bank have a survey?
No, unfortunately, on foreclosures, we don't have a survey, and the neighbor has actually told us that they're hers. So I would assume it's the neighbor's fence post. She came out and told, that's my fence, don't touch it. So it may be the address, I guess, is 1412, which is the neighbor's property.
When you think you should have a survey then to prove it, or?
They normally don't. When it goes under contract, it's on the market now. When it goes under contract, the buyer will do a survey to determine whose fence it is and that sort of thing. So sometimes we have no idea. But we'll clean, we'll do it. We'll take out we're going to. But if it's the neighbor saying that, it's not.
That they're, she says
she
they're.
was not very nice.
She says they're her posts?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There were some across the front that were definitely on Region's property.
Right.
We had those removed, but then he started.
Okay, thank you. What is the resolution to this situation, Mr. Jackson?
Staff is looking at alternatives. Among those alternatives, of course, is relying on the evidence that she's expressing it to be her property, and if so, citing her and giving her that opportunity to apply. So we're looking at those options, and it appears to be probably what will happen. And maybe she'll change her mind. We don't know.
Somewhere there's a survey.
Yeah, somewhere there's a survey. And we need to, it's not up to us to find it, so.
At this point, our best knowledge is based on appearance, based on the way that it lines up where the connection points of things that appears that it's on the property that's cited. But we would consider the information that's been provided to look at alternatives. So as of now, we'd ask that this, again, give them next call. We'll have them resolve one way.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. All right, the chair will entertain motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, September 5th, 2018, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion? Motion, Mr. Harrington, second, Mr. Jones. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Let's see, case 6, we did case 16, case 17, CEB 0818-78. Mr. Pandaya is cited at 945 Pelican Bay Drive. No permit for walkways in front porch. Is he here? Okay. This is case 17.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for determination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector is Cliff Reckonsome. Mr. Reckonsome reports this is a situation where he had to issue a stop work order. They've since received an approved permit and is waiting final. So we're asking for a finding of non-compliance and next cutoff.
Okay. Okay. All right. Chair will entertain motion to find respondent non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, second, Mrs. Himes. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. 17. Case number 18. CEB 0818-79 at 525 Bellevue. Mr. Sheikh. Good morning. Please state your name and address for the record. Sheikh. Okay, good. Okay.
Commissioner Hanley, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, sir, we'll hear from the attorney first, and then we'll hear your side.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for determination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector's Cliff Reckonsome. Mr. Reckonsome reports that the property remains in non-compliance. He expresses that the respondent's done a little, but not a whole lot. He believes that it can be in compliance by next cutoff, so it's asking for non-compliance and next cutoff for it to be part of the compliance. Now, Mr. Reckonsome, if you have any factual questions.
A lot of motor vehicle, rubbish and garbage, right? Has there been any progress? This is from yesterday? Or this morning even? No.
Yesterday.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I see numbers. It says premises identification. I see 525 up there.
Yes.
Okay.
The numbers have been put up.
Okay.
But there's a lot more work that still needs to be done to the property.
Okay.
Is there any permit issues?
I believe I found permit issues afterwards, but I haven't cited him on those issues yet. I found him on the back side of the building when driving down on the side streets, that I still have to send him for.
Okay. Well, let's take care of this first. All right, Mr. Shake, what would you like to tell us?
I've made quite a bit of progress.
You have.
And when I received the first notice that you gave, I did what I could, but unfortunately, it was a time that was, you understand the Islamic calendar, we have Ramadan and all that, that fell in, and that's a very hard thing for Muslims to do at that time. So I tried to do what I could do while observing my faith, right? At the end, I did write him a letter and asked him for more time and I explained what happened. While I was doing somewhat what I could do at that within my physical limitations. I did that. What I couldn't do, that's why I asked him for with an explanation as to give it some more time. Then I
see that.
And I was 3 weeks out with full pay, couldn't do anything. But since then, there are vehicles that we moved. I had 2 vehicles moved yesterday.
Okay.
I told him I had issues with misplacing titles of 2 of the vehicles. I had problems. I would have had them done right away. I still have not located those titles, and I contacted LKQ right away on the person, and they wouldn't take a car without a title. So I know I have the title somewhere, as I have a lot of papers.
When was Ramadan?
That was 2 months ago. It was a whole month of
so that was June?
When
yes?
When the first yeah, it was like Ramadan was the next day when he, so I had those 30 days I had to observe and, eating, drinking.
Yeah.
So that, but I still did what I could. I painted half the building. I painted half of my building. But I had a ladder that was long.
Do you live there?
Yes. I had a ladder, but it's not long enough, so I just painted where I can. I have enough paint to go on the whole house. Okay. It's just that the building is so high and it's kind of dangerous.
Okay.
The last thing I want to do is fall off and
If you can't find your titles, go to the motor vehicle department and you can get them immediately.
Well, those vehicles I bought from somebody else, they were from another state. If they were from Florida, that's the first thing I would do.
Okay.
Right? But they're from another state, and I just didn't register for the vehicles. They're good vehicles, but they're not like junk vehicles. But as time went by, I lost the interest in.
Okay. Well, there's still work to be done. So, does the board have any other?
Was this complaint driven? Was this just a complaint by the neighbors or somebody?
Was it complaint?
Yes, this was a CRM.
Okay. All right.
I just wonder why you keep piling things up as if they didn't exist.
What's piled there is not junk. It's not rubbish. Whatever was rubbish, there was something. The city did a good thing, and I really thank you for that. If you had that zone cleanup thing.
Oh yeah.
All right, that was fantastic. I mean, you ought to have at least 3 of those a year. That helped me a lot.
That wasn't from us, but that's from the
Well,
city.
no,
Yes,
but
the
that
city
helped me
did.
a lot. I mean, I had a lot of stuff piled up in there, and it just gave me the opportunity of whatever. All those are paints. They are paints. Paint cans with paint in it. And I have enough paint for the whole house and everything. It is a cardboard, and it's not
Okay.
rubbish.
All right.
It's just cans of paint.
Okay. Well, okay. So I think that you know that there's some work to be done. So we're asking you to get it done. The chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, September 5th, 2018, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
No, sorry.
So moved.
Motion, Mrs. House. Second, Mrs. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Just get busy, please. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. We're at case 19 in compliance. And if you have questions, you can talk to Mr. Reckenzone, and he'll tell you what you need to do. 19 is in compliance. Case 20 is in compliance. Case 21 is in compliance. We're on case 22. 0818-83, Mr. Paul Taylor and Milton Jones. Respondent present, please come forward. Morning, sir.
State your name and address, please.
Bill Jones.
Address.
Address 829 Burnham Street.
Which one? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay, we'll hear from Mr. Jackson in Code Enforcement, and then we'll hear from you, sir. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for determination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector's Cliff Reckenzone. Mr. Reckenzone reports that this property remains in non-compliance, and he's asking for next call for it to come into compliance, and I think photos will support that position. Mr. Reckenzone is here, and I think Mr. Reckenzone, if you have any factual questions.
Okay. I'm going to add. You got anything to add?
No, I didn't have any contact with you this week. Property owner.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he says that he's going to be working with me.
Good. Okay. Come on up, Mr. Jones, and tell us what you'd like.
Well, I don't have much to say. I just my brother was living in the house.
Okay.
I live in West Palm Beach.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't get any of this information until Saturday.
Okay.
When my brother passed away. The guy that was his caretaker was the one that brought me the information that you guys had served a notice.
Right.
And I just got to get in contact with the insurance company because this damage was done to the roof by the hurricane. I didn't know anything about it. So
okay.
I filled out, I submitted the application yesterday.
Okay.
And we just waiting for the process to get started. So.
All right. Well, what we'll do is find you a non-compliance today, and then come back next time and we'll decide where you are. You'll tell us where you are with everything and how things are going. Okay. Chair will entertain a motion. Any comments? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance and or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, September 5th, 2018, and be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mrs. Himes. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Case 23 is in compliance. For case 24, CEB 081885, IMAS Financial at 1234 Suwannee. Respondent present? Okay. Mr. Jackson.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for determination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector is Cliff Reckenzone. Mr. Reckenzone reports that the property remains in non-compliance, specifically regarding exterior structure, roofs, and drainage. He is asking for you to make up that finding and to give the respondent until the next call to come into compliance. I will tender Mr. Reckenzone if you have any factual questions.
Okay. Want to add anything? Have you heard from these people?
I've had no contact.
No contact. Okay.
Are they in business? It's a rental property.
This is a rental property. Are the people living in it?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes. Because there was a vehicle and a trailer that was in the front yard. But
Okay.
after I posted the property, the trailer and the vehicle were removed, but the roof is still damaged.
Okay. Any other comments? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance in order the respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, September 5th, 2018, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion? Motion, Mr. Harrington, second.
Second.
Second, Mrs. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 25, CEB 08, 1886, Homer and Janice Hippolyte at Bellevue Avenue. Respondent present. State your name and address for the record, please.
Homer Hippolyte, Bellevue Avenue, parcel 5339. 66-02-003, I believe it's 529.
Okay. Raise your hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay, we'll hear from Mr. Jackson, and then we'll let you speak if you'd like to, sir.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you put the termination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector is Cliff Reckenzone. Mr. Reckenzone reports, just as he indicates, that there's parking on a vacant lot owned by Mr. Hippolyte, and he's been informed that actually the cars of our Mr. Shake,
Yeah.
Shake, but in any case, they're not lawfully parked. It's prohibited parking for their circumstance as a parking lot. And so, we're not in non-compliance, and he's asking for next call for them to come to compliance.
Okay.
I will tender Mr. Reckenzone if you have any factual questions.
Okay. Do you have anything to add? So these cars actually belong to Mr. Shake, is that it? And they're on your property,
Yeah.
is that it? Okay, wait just 1 second and I'll let you talk. Okay, that's it? They're on his property?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? All right, what would you like to tell us, Mr. Hippolyte?
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Naples. I live in Naples. I live by a house. So, I mean,
Thank you for doing that.
And when I went to the property yesterday, the white car had been removed.
So the one car is gone.
The white car.
How many more cars have to be removed?
The one that parked on the side of his property, part of the car is on his property, and part of my property.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm if I'm soon to get those two other ones removed, or if he's going to do it. He parked on his property because it's in borderline. Parked on my property. So I just want to know.
I guess that. No. Thank you.
Question. Did you discuss or give permission for him to park?
No, I didn't.
So he's just trespassing.
But that white car is not okay. I have a picture.
Oh, that's okay. We believe that. But you didn't give him permission to park his vehicles on your property. Okay, that's fine. What is the?
You said it's the first time you went.
That's the first time I met Michelle.
Oh, okay. All right. It just. So what? Do you have something to add to this case, sir? Okay.
I'd just like to apologize. I
Okay.
didn't know that was his lot.
Okay.
When I bought it. I
Okay.
thought it was my lot.
Okay.
I have to ask a question. How do you not know what your lot is?
Well, when I bought the property, it was from a real estate agent. I thought that whole was
Okay.
my.
Well, it's over the pole line anyway, but you know what the solution to this problem is? Looks pretty simple to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm asking, those are the two vehicles whose titles I could not find. Okay?
What?
The white one I just sold yesterday, so thank God that was off. But I'm going to work out with him to move those vehicles. It's not his fault. So, it's not
Okay.
his fault.
No, it isn't. Not. Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate that he came out. If he had my phone, he could have called me.
Well, it does. He came, drove 5 hours. Here, come up here. Come up here.
I had to rent a car, I had to buy food, I had to pay a hotel to sleep last night.
Okay.
To resolve this. I can't keep doing it.
No, you
But
can't.
I haven't done
Don't. We'll take care of this.
Here's the responsible. You understand?
Right. You now. Well, you know what? Your code enforcement officer today, Mr. Reckenzone, can tell you what you can do with these to bring this property into compliance. We can't tell you what to do, but he can tell you what to do, and it's my guess it's pretty simple.
I think I just heard him mention something about a tow truck.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think if this is an issue.
I have a tow truck ready to take care of.
What? All right. Well, okay. Well, all right. We understand. Would you want to say one more thing, sir?
Yeah.
Speak in the mic, please.
I would like that to be resolved. I mean, if you want to take it away from my situation and make it his situation, that's fine. If not, if I have to deal with it, I'm ready to deal with it.
All right. All right. That's enough now. All right. So, the only thing that that I think that we should do is find the respondent in noncompliance and order him to come into compliance by the next cutoff date. And you can talk to, again, please talk to Mr. Reckenzone, and he can tell you what to do that can probably be taken care of today. Okay?
Who's Reckenzone?
He's right here. That's Mr. Reckenzone.
We'll tell you landowner has right to resolve.
Okay, so
those issues on
all right.
You may also want to post your property for no trespassing.
Yeah, you might want to do that too. Okay, but that's so. Is there such a motion? Motion, Mr. Harrington. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Jones. All in favor, say aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right. So that's it. Yes, he needs to talk to the.
Talk to
he
him.
has to talk to them. I've told him twice. Okay, this will all get worked out. Okay. Okay, we have one more case. CEB 0818-91, Michael Malik. Mr. Malik? No. Okay.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for determination of compliance or non-compliance. The inspector's Cliff Reckenzone. Mr. Reckenzone reports that this property is in non-compliance. There's been no progress to resolving violations. He's asking that you give us the response until next cutoff to come into compliance. I send to Mr. Reckenzone if you have any factual.
Okay. Anything to add?
The grass was cut by the city.
Oh, okay. It's not even on here.
State that they have no money to do any of the repairs.
So you've talked to them. Do they live there?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this homestead? Yes.
Hold on. All right. Well, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance and or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, September 5th, 2018, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 a day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Oh, motion, Mrs. Hines. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Jones. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right, miscellaneous business is next. Only thing that I'd like to bring up is that when I went to a neighborhood meeting, I heard that code was no longer under the purview of permits and licensing, but under the police. Is this a true statement?
Yeah.
True statement. And
Okay.
I'm sure maybe Mr. Simpson or someone else.
It was kind of surprising to learn this from the general public when I had I'm going to say what? I know.
Really quickly.
I guess it did. I guess it did, and yeah,
The next morning.
Upgraded shirts.
Is that what it is?
What can you tell us?
I wasn't at the meeting. I found out probably similar to the way Ms. Sunday found out.
I didn't hear, what was the
Now
question?
John's gonna arrest us, so we got
I think they thought it would put more teeth in it if the cops were behind them. Right. Or ahead of them.
I think
It's civil.
After the original meeting,
Right.
that it was determined the next morning to go under the police department.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like to make a comment.
All right, go ahead.
This will be my last day on the code.
Oh, no.
Crap.
What are you doing?
I'm turning in my resignation, and so this will be the last day.
Well, I want to thank you for your service, and I'm sorry, and we
will be
appreciate what you've done, and we'll miss you and your knowledge that you brought here. So,
We hope you'll be replaced as quickly as the other person.
Oh.
She has 3 prospects, but I haven't heard any more since that.
Hopefully, the board will, and the applicants will be, will have some type of professional credentials. I think it's necessary on the board of
I
this
agree.
size and this magnitude, so hopefully that the applicants will be of that nature.
Thank you, Vern. Appreciate it.
thank you very much. Any other news of the day? Okay.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
After adjournment.
All right. Meeting adjourned.